Okay, week 43. And a big thank you to each of you who's joining me for the entire year of this year of accelerated growth and well-being. Week 43. This is a very simple, but as is often the case, very profound, easy to say idea that has big ramifications. Ask for help. Now, what we're talking about here is the difference between a closed system and an open system. So you've got all the ideas, all the thoughts that you've gathered in one lifetime as one of 7-8 billion people. And that's what you've got going for you. Asking for help opens the system. And there's a couple of different levels and different ways to play with this doorway of asking for help. If you've got a goal or a dream, and it's your private goal and your private dream, depending on what it is and how much you work on it, it may or may not ever happen. If you put it out there, if you ask for help, the odds of it happening go up exponentially. So, example number one, you have a goal, you have a dream. My biggest dream right now is creating a 10x country. Whether it's just a few thousand people in a version of what Disney has created in Florida, where they have a compact with the state of Florida that they have their own security, their own police force, their own zone within a zone. Disney has the legal right to operate its own nuclear power plant. It's got an incredible amount of freedom, and this is something that we give often to corporations. But isn't it time we give groups of citizenry the freedom and the right to make a transparent commitment to do 10 times better than the surrounding culture in terms of garbage generation, in terms of energy waste, in terms of suicides, in terms of sexual molestation, in terms of childhood trauma, in terms of emotional literacy, in terms of sustainable forestry, in terms of sustainable building, in terms of community building, in terms of world impact. Can a few thousand people, 100,000 people, create a zone with autonomy on this planet that is 10 times better on all the important metrics than any other country around? And of course they can, but what does it take to bring that about? So asking for help, one of the things I'm working on right now is a book, to put it out there. When you put something out there and ask for help, this is a 20-year project. There's all kinds of little doorways that can come in and open up. When you meditate and ask for help, you're asking your unconscious mind in an open state, often with visual imagery, to attune its enormous power. See, because our senses only pick up our consciousness only registers 50% or less of what our senses pick up. So right now my ears are picking up noises that I'm tuning out because I'm focusing on this. Right now there's stuff going on over there and over there that might be in my peripheral vision, but I'm focused on this. Our consciousness tunes into the 50% of reality that we've alerted it as being important. To what? See, what is this attuning filtering process? When this is in the semi-conscious unconscious, it can just be jacked around by adrenal, by possible threats, by paranoias. When you tune through meditation and visualization, you ask for help from your subconscious, unconscious mind. You've now got it alerting you, ooh, that could be useful for that. Now, before you ask for that help, that same thing would have passed you by and you wouldn't have noticed it for the opportunity it was. But when you ask for help, when you attune, suddenly your unconscious, subconscious mind starts bringing things into the forefront. So we've got asking for help from our subconscious, unconscious mind. We've got asking for help from, if you're part of any kind of spiritual practice, and you have a sense of consciousness and energy fields, asking for help from those consciousnesses and energy fields, asking for help to realize something important to you. And one of the best things, when you're dealing with energetic help, is emotional states, is understanding how to navigate in the world in order to create grace, for example, as opposed to endless conflict and all of that. Asking for help, understanding that everything is on a continuum. Every culture, every individual, every civilization, every species, every energy field, it's on a continuum. And we're on that continuum sometimes, at some point on that continuum. But asking for help from something bigger, where does that take us? Where does that take us? Asking for help from specific friends, professionals, asking for help from a professional can quadruple your productivity. I have the great good fortune of having an incredible virtual assistant, the best person I've ever hired in my entire life. And literally, I do 7 times more in different fields, such as this video, because of him. So asking for help in the form of employees, asking for help from mentors, asking for help from books, asking for help from higher consciousness, asking for help from nature. I'm out on a walk, whatever. Teach me, show me something. Let me learn what is sustainable. Nature is a profoundly sustainable ecology. It's been here, getting more and more complex and sustainable for billions of years. That's a good teacher. Asking for help. It's basically taking the mind from inward to outward in a constructive way with an intention that you set. It's not generally that useful to just say, help me. Do what? For what reason? With what value hierarchy? To achieve what state? What are you after? It's up to you, the conscious mind, to determine what's important to you, what you're going for, why you're going for it. But once you've determined that, you can either do it all yourself and literally function at about 1% of your potential, or you can reach outward, put stuff outward, and ask for specific things. So I'll ask you in this video, 1, if you ask for help in response to this, and something good comes in, will you please share that with me in the comments? And 2, If you know of a town that's in distress, of a country that wants to innovate, Bhutan is doing a great job with incorporating the happiness GDP as opposed to the production GDP of its citizens, etc. If you know of a location of, 5,000 acres or more, where autonomy could be possible, it's in everyone's interest, there's no question about that, possible, will you let me know?